Reflex Arc. Learn and understand the neural pathway of reflex action called Reflex Arc. On lighting a match, if our fingers get burnt by the flame accidentally, we retract our hand rapidly and unconsciously. This spontaneous action in response to a stimulus is known as reflex action. The flame of the burning matchstick acts as an external stimulus, stimulating the receptors within the skin, which convert it into a nerve impulse. This in turn is passed on to the efferent or sensory neuron, which transmits the impulse to the spinal cord. This process is known as detection. On zooming into a transverse section of the spinal cord, it is observed that the sensory neuron reaches the centralized H-shaped gray matter through the dorsal horn. Within the gray matter, the sensory neuron synapses with the interneuron. This part of the transmission is known as processing. Now, this impulse moves from the interneuron onto the efferent or motor neuron. After crossing another synaptic junction, through the ventral horn, the axons of the motor neuron transmit nerve impulses from the spinal cord to the effector. This process is known as response. As a result of the response, the flexor or the biceps contract, while the extensor or the triceps relax due to the simultaneous inhibition leading to the movement of the arm. However, besides generating the reflex action at the level of the spinal cord, a few nerves transmit the impulse to the brain simultaneously. This makes the person aware of the pain. Recapitulation. When a sensory receptor is stimulated, signals pass from it along a sensory neuron to the spinal cord. This process is known as detection. The sensory neuron synapses with the interneuron. This part of the transmission is known as processing. The interneuron synapses with the motor neuron, and this part of the transmission is known as response. The advantage of the reflex arc is that it can process the response at the level of the spinal cord. However, the sensation of pain gets registered in the brain.